Crossing fingers. Yay! I made it! I didn't think I'd be able to make it. Can you hear me talking now? I hope so. So, I tried to get on and at first it did the weird fabric kind of screen, but I at least wanted you to know I was here. Hi, everybody. It is so good to see you. I just wanted to say today our live stream is in honor of Sonia. I saw her name when I was desperately trying to get on here, and it touches my heart that she came to join us. I know today is probably hard on her, but she's an amazing woman. She's an amazing woman. And if anyone deserves Mother's Day, it's her. She worked harder than I think just about anybody here who's been a mother. So Sonia, we love you so much. And thank you for turning up. You have been in my heart this last week because I knew this week is hard, just like her birthday week is hard. And when I saw your name, it was the happiest. Thank you for showing up. It means a lot to us. You're a dear heart, very dear heart. So, okay. I'll pull it together again. But this is an emotional time during all of this. And when I think of people and their hearts are heavy, it really weighs on me. So I wanted to well, you're very dear. Sonia, you're very dear. And it is my hope one day I'll get to meet you in person. So this, besides the show being dedicated to Miss Sonia today, I also want to reach across to the wonderful country of Australia and say hi to Mrs. Harwood. I forgot to ask her name, but I wanted her. Oh, you saw Mark? I made sure this quilt was hanging up in honor of Miss Harwood from Melbourne, Australia. I made sure that was hanging up for her. I was very happy the last couple days to chat with your son, and what a wonderful son to spend that time looking for something he knew would make his mom's heart happy. So in fact, I got to tell you a funny story though. I didn't fall asleep till 4:30 this morning. The whole anxiety about stuff kind of catches up with you. And so Mark was sound asleep, just sawing logs, and he had to get up to run to the bathroom. And so I said, slowly I turn, step by step, inch by inch. And he kind of looked at me half asleep like, what are you doing? I just wanted him to know I was still awake, just laying there in the dark. So anyway, but what was I going to say? So anyway, if I'm a little goofy, well, a little goofier than normal, you'll know why. But I was really tickled to talk with Byron Harwood and to make sure that his mom got some information about that quilt, because evidently it's a favorite of hers. And you know what? I have to admit, it's a beauty, isn't it? So I am... No, I didn't scare him. He was just like, what are you saying? And you know what's funny is he went back to sleep in 3 seconds, and I'm still laying there going, okay, here I am. It's anytime. Sleep, come find me. But I got to tell you something funny. And the reason, that's why I was telling you about how I couldn't get to sleep. But the whole thing behind this was this, I was getting ready for the show. I'd been upstairs looking, down here looking, through my closet, through boxes. Mark walks in the room and I said, I can't find my strawberry quilt and I need to put it up today for Mrs. Harwood. And Mark said, honey, it's hanging on the wall already. I was like, oh, thank God. Am I getting dementia? So anyway, that is just too funny. That's my story. So if you see me looking down at something, I am making some watermelon seeds. I know I told you I was going to bring Kiwi down, but since I'm so tired and I've been down here for a while, I knew that she would get too antsy, and Mark has been outside working, so I didn't want to ask him to bring her. So anyway, she's upstairs. I will bring her, though. Last night, she and I did a lot of playing. And every time she gets a set of new feathers in, she gets feisty. But it is so cute when I tell her, I use voice with her. And because pointing my finger, she doesn't like that. So I use voice, and I tell and be easy. And as soon as she gives me the desired behavior, I go, good girl, Kiwi. She stretches her neck and hollers. She's so happy. It's like, see, I do want to be a good girl. I can't help it that I'm an Amazonian feisty thing. So, but I'll try to have her down next week. But I said, I know I promised them I'd bring her, but I was so far behind. I love all of you, but when my kids call to say Happy Mother's Day, I kind of stop everything I'm doing. You know how that is. So I'm taking some old black clay. One thing I love about polymer clay is it doesn't dry up. I mean, you can use it. I've had most of my polymer clays 10 or more years, probably 15 or more. And they might take a little longer to condition. But this was from a bag of clay that my grandson had messed with probably 6 years ago. So, and now I'm turning it into, it's not fully black because there were a few, other colors in it. But I'm turning it into a whole bunch of watermelon seeds. I hope I said watermelon seeds earlier. Somehow I thought I might have said sunflower. But I'm going, and then what I'll do is after I make them, I will poke 2 little holes in them, and because I want them to lay flat, and that gives you a hint of what we're going to work on today. Not the quilt, not because that's strawberries anyway. Yeah, they're different fruit. But, and soon, probably 1st of June, I'll put up my watermelon quilt because I love putting up quilts for the season. It's so much fun. And now that I'm here with y'all, it's really nice because I get stuff done. It's like all my life I've started stuff and then squirrel moved on. But now with y'all, I get stuff done. So thank you for kind of keeping me reined in. So, all right. So today I want to wish everyone a happy Mother's Day. And you don't have to have a current child to be a mom. You just have to have cared for someone and showed them that love and that understanding they needed to get through. Because it only takes one good person to change a child's life. So if you have done any of that, please know that Happy Mother's Day to you. And women rule the world, let me tell you. So people like to think it's men, but let me ask you a question. Who gets better treatment? Fathers on Father's Day or mothers on Mother's Day? You know, especially when the kids are little and the dad's playing video games. So you know what? We rule the world. We rule the hearts anyway. When football players are on the field, they always go, hi, Mom. I love you, Mom. So remember that. All right. So now I'm looking at my, thank goodness, I've been promising y'all a video. In fact, I haven't been very good at that, but I honestly promise I've been working on this video. I'm making a video. Well, I've already filmed the video. I'm just trying to edit it. And gosh, I talk so slow. I don't know I need to speed myself up because it's a lot of editing. Look here at I want to show you my watermelon seeds. Aren't they cute? So anyway, and I need about 20 because I think I'm going to make 2 of these. Pardon me just a second. Well, it's tilted. We will have a new arm and some new connections before long. I promise. So yesterday, Mark and I went to pick up some things I ordered from Home Depot and Lowe's. And you're supposed to be able to do curbside pickup. And too many people not wearing face masks. And, I was slow on the whole mask thing. But come on, people, wear these masks. And don't bring your little grandbabies to the store. Let the children stay home. Why in the world are you going to risk it? I saw a grandfather, he had a mask on, but he had a baby. The baby had nothing on, and the baby just didn't need to be there. I know I love good grandparenting as much as the next person and spending time with your grandkids, but don't put them at risk. So come on, people. I mean, we're going to hit 80,000 today, so let's be smart, okay? But anyway, I made my house blocks and then finally sat down and added up how many we're going to need. And it looks like, oh my gosh, that's my son. Hi, sweetie. In fact, Chris, I've been meaning to try to shoot you an email to say, do you have any time this evening that we could face chat with my grandson? So, thank you. Thank you, Chris, for being here. And thank you, Susan, for realizing. So I would love to. I was up till 4:30, and so I haven't been moving very fast. My son does a live stream every Sunday, which I enjoy. So after I'm all done and gotten settled in, I watch him. So, all right. That's wonderful. Yeah. So when you're done with yours and I'm done and whatever, we'll get together and do a face chat because I realize my grandson doesn't know who I am anymore. He hadn't seen me since Christmas. And it's kind of like, thank God they're little, but because they're little, you can't chat with them or talk or whatever. But thank you, Christopher. And in fact, thank you. Email it. That'd be great because I've already got my birthday video I'm going to show the ladies. So this is my son who in high school had purple hair or green hair or red hair. And he's a drummer and he's amazing. I love him dearly. So he's the best. And he does his own work on YouTube, plus being a teacher, performer. He's a busy one. So I'm so proud. I'm so tickled that my kids are all doing things they love. That's really important. So I always told him that I'm trying to remember how, like a worker works with his head, an artisan or craftsman works with his head and his hands, and an artist works with his head, hands, and heart. So, and he's an artist. So take care, Chris. Nice seeing you, sweetie. So anyway, I made 8 of these. And see, I put a little charm on each one that says made with love. And I'll sign my name and then -20 for the year. Chris, you're so sweet. These are my wonderful ladies. They keep me going. They're amazing. So anyway, I only made 8 of them. Well, I sat down last night and finally added everybody up, and I think we're going to have 11. So I'm going to go back and make 4 more so I can have 12. So I'm sorry for some of you who've already made them because it's so nice to make them in multiples and just go to town on them. So, but yeah, I do thank him for stopping by. So anyway, if you have planned on, I have 2 people that aren't in our group, don't belong to our group's IO. So I'm going to have them send their blocks to me and then I'll forward them on. And, but otherwise, anybody who's in our group, when I have the firm name count, I will send you the addresses. So you can pop them in a regular envelope with just a regular forever stamp, and they should get there fine. Oh, thank you. I've been seeing some of the houses you're doing, and they're wonderful. So it's a lot of fun. and it's not too hard. Oh, thank you, Susan. Y'all are amazing. I was so amazed. I thought when I mentioned this, I would be able to hear a groan out over the internet, and instead, y'all are like, "Sure, I'll do it." And what this is, for some of you who might not know, and don't worry, Miss Bonnie is going to be a little later on hers, but Miss Bonnie gets a free pass, and probably always will. So anyway, but I need to stop looking down. I got to stop making these. They're addictive. You know me, I like to keep my hands busy, but I find myself, I keep looking down, and y'all are probably going, what is she doing? So I moved it out of my way. You know me, I get stuck on it. So, but I will be making some more of these, and we're doing a swap of kind of COVID community, or just something to kind of acknowledge this incredible time and what we've meant to each other, to have each other to chat and laugh with, and share jokes with. Cheryl Lemon has been keeping us in stitches, thank goodness. So I think y'all, anyway, it has been so wonderful to spend this time with you, and I thought it might be nice to kind of have something to remember this time, because trust me, we have not experienced anything in this country since World War II that comes close to this. So it'd be nice to kind of have a little memento. And make sure when you get all your blocks, you'll be able to make a nice little size wall hanging. Make sure you put a label detailing exactly what this is for, the time, whatever. If any of you don't have labels, shoot me an email and I will put a label in for you. I have plenty of pre-printed labels, but label what this time was and how we knew each other, and little something that when historians look back at our little scrap of fabric, they'll say, wow, it was like all the people who did the quilts for the Civil War. Now they're treasured. Well, to me, in a lot of emotional ways, this is not as bad as the Civil War, but it is pretty intense. And I think that people would like to look back and say, what was it like for them? So, because, there'll probably be other things like this in the future, but hopefully we'll be better prepared. So, yes, labels are just so great, because otherwise they don't know. Otherwise you lose your voice, you lose your influence. When quilts are labeled with your name and where you were, maybe a little bit about why you did the quilt, you have a voice for the rest of history. As long as that quilt lasts, you were here. And that's how I look at it. I look at these quilts, and when I know who made it, it touches my heart, because I realize this person cared enough to spend the time to make this. And I like knowing what exactly it was. And often quilts are made during trying times, during death in the family, divorce, loss of a child, things like that. They're often made during a rough patch. And you know what? Those quilts say a lot. They really do. So please just remember to oh, Cheryl, we love the things you send. They're such a hoot. So just send me an email, especially soon. Send it right away, because that way, when I send out the blocks to all of you, if any of you need a label, I'll cut you one and pop it in with the block. Easy peasy. And it won't cost me any more or anything. So, okay. But do label these for future generations to look back. There are studies. I mean, people study quilts as kind of a way to flesh out what the times were like. So that's a cool thing. Have any of you been having dry hands? Oh, okay. Tell me what the snow situation. I had to run out and cover my plants with sheets, but and we were lucky. Right here in this little bowl, we did not get a frost, but other places all around. So what happens? What happens with y'all and snow? Give me an idea. Who had snow? Who had really low temperatures? I think we got to about 35. But oh my gosh, I mean, it's May. Hello. Although I'm not complaining because you know what? There have been plenty of times this part of May that it's too hot already and I need to get out. I'm so excited since my daughter and that young man really cleaned the deck and then stained it all really good. I'm thrilled. And so I've got some new pots because, I'm cheap. And I had a bunch of old nasty pots, half broken and all that stuff. 22 degrees and flurries. Woo! Oh my goodness gracious. Y'all are hardy people up there in Michigan. Now it's raining. Oh, it sounds like it's raining hard. Evan Miller, my grandson, is here. Thanks for the TV. That's where Evan is. We got a new TV last September. And so I've been trying to figure out what to do with the old one. And I finally realized it's too big to go anywhere else. So we gave it, my daughter said, after all the work she's done over here, she said, I'd love to have that TV to give to my husband and my son. And so you like that TV, huh? He is my little video game monkey. That's what I'll call him, video game monkey. So I'm glad you like it, sweetie. I bet you it makes the video games look really real. This is so cool. I'm having my little family reunion here, and it's been hard because anybody agree that it's tough not seeing your family? I was lucky enough to see Becky while she was over here when the young man we hired to get stuff done, but I couldn't hug her. It's hard. It's so hard. So anyway, I haven't. Tell him how old you're going to be soon. If he's still here, let's see if he tells you how old. He's got a birthday coming up in early June. Well, no, later June. And he's got a big birthday coming up this year. Yeah. Yeah, we are family. Yes, 13. Good job, Evan. So he's going to be a teenager. Evan, was this your last year no, you have one more year in middle school, I think, before you go to high school. So it's hard not being with your family. I know Susan probably misses that grandbaby. So you have 2 more years in middle school. Okay. I just feel so bad about all the high schoolers, graduates, and the college graduates who are graduating this year. That's really sad. Yep, you're in my boat too, Marcia, because most of my grandchildren are up in Maryland. I miss them. So, okay. Now, let me see. So we talked about the Heart and Home block exchange. I'm going to type in who I have signed up. Well, Miss Marcia, who's right here, I have signed up. Just let me know if you've changed your mind about doing it, let me know. If you still are doing it, then that's fine. Bonnie. Okay. We have 2 Susans. Well, we have a Sue Smith, and then we have a Susan Smith. So don't get confused about those. And Pat F. and Cheryl Hogan and Michelle Lang and me and Diana W. and Angela Adele F. All right. Now, I think I've got everyone listed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh, I'm sorry, Cheryl. That's got to be tough. That has got to be tough. Sometimes it's the only way we can stay safe. But anyway, so if you want to do it and your name's not on that list, you need to let me know right away. And I was trying to figure out when we would have a deadline, except for Miss Bonnie. Miss Bonnie doesn't have a deadline. She's got a different deadline, trust me. Why don't we all try to get these out, ready to mail, by May 21st? That'll give us all this coming up week and most of the next week. Is that, and you can mail them early if you want, but we need to, I think we need 20. You want to do it on the 25th, sweetie? Hi, Cheryl. Oh, I'm so glad you got to see your grandkids. That is wonderful, sweetheart. Okay, the 25th. It's a Monday. That is a great idea. So Monday, May 25th, except for Miss Bonnie. And y'all, when we get the blocks, we'll put them together with sashing. Just save a space for Bonnie's. But she's moving to a whole new state and a whole new life, and she deserves some time. So, okay, that's what we'll do then. And if I don't have you on that list that I just typed up here, if you're not on that list, then, and you had intended to do it, please let me know. But I'm going to make 12 blocks just so I have one extra in case there's somebody I've missed, because goodness gracious, I don't want anybody to feel left out. So everybody else, except for 2 people, everybody else is a member of our group's IO. Make sure, if you've already given me your address, I have it. Susan Smith and Cheryl Lemons, I have your change of address. And so if you've already given me your address and it hasn't changed, we're good. If you have never given me your address, send it to ourtimetoquilt@twc.com, and I'm going to make a nice, concise list that I mail out. I'm also going to try to come up, and this is voluntary if you want to. It's optional. You don't have to do this. But I'm also going to try to come out with like a COVID saying, something to kind of put a title on these quilts, if you wish. And I just thought I might, pick a really cool font and mail you the font so you can kind of trace it. And if you want to, we can also, it can say the same and look the same, but you don't have to use it. But I'll try to have that and then include that too. So anyway, and so we'll probably next say, okay, what do we want to name this quilt? And we'll figure our time quarantine together. I don't know, but we'll figure it out. We'll figure out something, and feel free to share that with me too. Send that by email, and I'll work that up into something I can, I might put it, you know what? I don't think I'll put it in the envelope. I think what I'll do is put it on site in a file, and that'll be good. Yeah. I love we're in this together, COVID 2020. So, yep, send me your ideas. I think this is great. And all right. Then we're real excited because we started our Out of This World challenge on the Thursday Art Quilt group. And I don't know if you were all here when I mentioned, our special time together. That might be good too. Y'all got some good ones. And if you pop them in an email, then to me, if you don't mind, you don't have to do it right now, just later, because sometimes once I close this out, it's hard for me to find what you've said. So, but I'm excited. And but anyway, and make the blocks your own. Add whatever little touches that show something about you. Because we're all, even though we're doing this all together, we're all unique, wonderful people, and we all have something different to be celebrated about. But so we're doing the Out of This World challenge, and I've got a cute picture. Jamie's Crafty World. Hello. Enjoy your yard work, sweetie. Please tell Crystal we said hello and happy Mother's Day. I can tell already you're a dear heart mother. You just, Oh, that's great, Evan. You watched a charity live stream that reached 70,000. That's wonderful. We want everybody to have food. That's wonderful. Oh, she heard it. Good. Well, have fun outside. I'm going to be busy this week. I've got a bunch of plants to find. Evan, this is so nice. I love you talking and being a part of this. I love that. I miss my Evan. Soon as it's safe for us, boy, I want you to come over and stay as long as you want. Okay, sweetheart? Although you're probably not going to want to leave that big old TV, aren't you? So anyway, but okay. So we're going to be doing galaxy, nebula, planets, whatever. So anyway, I'm real excited about mine. I've decided to go ahead and do that molten planet with the rings around it, like a red, angry Saturn. Oh, it's going to be so cool. So I started work on that, and wait till you see Jody's picture I've got for you today. Oh my God, it'll make you laugh. It's so cute. She has really been using her sense of humor during this whole thing, and I love it. So, please feel free to join us on this. And soon as we finish this one, I've decided all on my own that our next one is going to be a self-portrait. And it can be Salvador Dali style, Picasso style. It can be realistic, whatever you want it to be. But I want you to start thinking about what do you want to put in this one self-portrait that tells us so much about you. I want it to be about you. And so pick whatever style you want, but just try to capture the essence of you. So we'll be doing that after we finish the space thing. All right. Now, let's see. The next thing is I think I've got the most fun thing to do with y'all. And I don't know if I printed it out or not. I think I did. So let me see if I can find it. But it's the perfect timing. Here it is. And it's so easy. Trust me, it's so easy. And it's very scrap friendly. And you could have it done in no time. Do you see this? I figured let's do something fun and warm. I know we've had a cold front this week, but we're going to make this watermelon table runner, watermelon placemat, and see the cute little buttons? And these buttons I think are like hearts, but you just use 1.5 by 21-inch strips. And so we're going to work on that. But I thought today what I would first do is show you some pictures. Oh, Evan, it's so good to see you, sweetheart. Please come see me soon as it's safe. Aw, Evan, that's so nice. Thank you, sweetie. Isn't he going to be a nice 13-year-old? This is the child that taught himself how to read before he was age 4. Smart? I don't know. He didn't get it from me. He's my smart one. So, bye, sweetheart. And his sister, Charlotte, I've got something to show you from her, too. Bye, Mr. Evan. That's really a nice thing. Let me close up some windows really quickly. Okay, let me go turn the light off. Okay. All righty. Let's see what we go. Whoops, didn't close this good enough. All right. I think we'll go to your photos first. Okay. hope that didn't make a loud noise. If it does, I apologize. Okay. Let me see something. Okay. Now, let me go to the photos because I've got some really cute ones. Okay, just want to show you again. Busy Pat's been busy with doing all kinds of cross stitch. Okay. Let me see. So we've got that one, a beautiful little village. This, beautiful flowers. And this beautiful sailboat. Thank you, Busy Pat, for sharing that with us. Okay, then Cheryl Lemons, just to show you again, she finished her undersea, which we love. Wonderful, wonderful. I still haven't quite finished mine, but I'll get to it, I promise. Y'all are so good at this stuff. Just wanted to show you, remember I told you the good news story about the young man that we had hired, had a baggie of candy, and $80 was in that baggie. And he put it on top of the car. It fell off the car. And a neighbor found it and put a sign up, and we got it back. And this young man was so impressed that somebody cared enough to go to that trouble to make sure he got his money back. That's good people in this world. And here is my prose quilt, finally finished bound and hanging in the living room and making me so happy. I love every time I see it. Oh, this is a birthday present my Katie sent, and it is a solar-powered light, and these balls change color, and they do it like in a trickle-down fashion. They're amazing. So, okay, this is that young man that was working in my yard. Oh, I don't know why this is in here. I thought I had more. Let me see. Okay, I guess that's it. But that young man, these are his dogs, and he said, could I make him a quilt that had a picture of his dogs? So I'm going to try to work on that soon, too. All right, here's Diana Wright. She's got boy, that girl has been so busy. Goodness gracious. You have to keep her busy. Oh, I do remember showing this one last week. And here is her house and home. Let me see if I can turn it. There is her heart at home. That's going to be her block. And she evidently, the background fabric has Texas stars in it. Look at these Civil War blocks she did. That looks like an autograph block, usually when it has a light color in there. That's beautiful, hon. She's working on a couple things, a Civil War block of the week or something. And then, look, there's another one. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay. Then she's working on, now I'm not sure which one this is. She's been working on an Edita Sitar, I think, another one of hers. She's been working on Alex Anderson's Sew Along. I mean, she's got a bunch of irons in the fire. And here's her. She's showing you how she does the block sections of the heart at home. I think this one's another Civil War. I know that one is. Those are. I love that cheddar and blue. Really pretty. Okay. Yep, those are her Civil War blocks. Pretty, pretty, pretty. She does such a good job, too. Really pretty. And it's cute. This is a double wedding ring, but it's done with sand fabric and beach pebble fabric. And she's doing it for a couple that had, or did it for a couple that had a beach wedding. So I thought that was awesome. A themed quilt. All right. Then, are you ready for Miss Jody's? This, last month, she did Bacon of the Sea. So funny, so talented, so cute. Well, now look what she's doing for this month. Is that funny or what? And see, when we do these challenges, you do them any way you want. Your vision, your artist vision is your own. And I thought this was hilarious. She's even got the earth and our moon in the background. And that fabric's awesome for this, isn't it? That is gorgeous. So way to go, way to go. Jody is so talented. So I just figured y'all get a real kick out of that one. Kathleen had pulled her fabrics for her space. I'm hoping she feels well enough to work on it. We're rooting for you. And we understand right now during this COVID crisis, a lot of people are having a hard time trying to concentrate. So don't worry if you just can't manage it. We love you and we're here for you no matter what. And there's no deadline on any of this. Okay, now let me see. I had a couple things up. Let me see if I can find them. Here is my Charlotte, and this is what she sent me for a happy birthday. Now, let me see. I've got to turn it up. Let me see. And I'll show you just a touch of this. She's a very talented girl. And she said, sorry she's looking over that way, but that's where her laptop is.
Power on. Your device is connected.
Whoops. Anyway, I thought that was so sweet of her. Love her purple hair. What a great girl. Okay, let me bring this down. And then here is one more we'll listen to just a part of. As a child, he used to go with me to this one job I had. And so I would always had music playing, and he kind of remembers some of the songs that I loved.
This one's for you. Happy birthday.
Let's get this.
This one's for you. Happy birthday.
Whoops.
This one's for you. Happy birthday.
What I love about this is he's got himself over here cut in. Here he's doing tambourine. Tambourine. And then here he's doing, I forgot what kind of drum that's called. And then down here is his foot doing the bass drums. So I love this. And you see the quilt I made for him in the background? So see, if you have a son that has purple hair, don't worry. They turn into fantastic young people. Anyway, I don't want you to have to listen to the whole thing, but I just thought you'd get a kick out of it. He's so talented. I'm very lucky.
Happy birthday, Mom. Love you.
So that's when you have a musician son. Those are the kind of gifts you get, and I couldn't be happier with them. So I hope I didn't take up too much of your time. Let me. Oops. Okay, there we are. All right. Did you like that? Yeah, conga drum. Thank you, Susan Smith. Thank goodness she's so smart. All right. So I had to plug in my extra speaker because my computer speaker is terrible. But let me turn on some lights. I'll be right back because I can't wait to show you this watermelon table runner. It's going to be fun. I'll be right back. Oh, and I'd forgotten to show you this earlier, but a couple of the little gifts that I got that I think are really cool. One of them is a cotton bowl wreath. I haven't taken it out of the box yet, but my Katie gave me this, and I thought I'd show it to you because thank goodness for King Cotton. If it weren't for King Cotton, we wouldn't have the wonderful craft that we love. So this is made from real cotton plants. And see how the cotton bowl tips are really sharp? You can imagine when this all had to be picked by hand. It was a bloody experience. So this is a wonderful wreath she sent. And I can't wait to put it up on the wall. So I think this is just holds back. So anyway, I thought I would show you that. And Becky got me a couple things that I really am excited about. I was talking to y'all about metallic gel pens. When we're doing our Galaxy and Space series, these will be really, really cool. Because we can kind of draw in stars in a metallic. And this has got gold and silver. And I'm not sure if it's copper or bronze. So I'm very excited. Thank you, Becky. That's the thing I like about Amazon is you can keep a list of things that you've been thinking you'd really like. And then they can go on and see what you really like. And with me, quilters, we're pretty easy to buy for. Because as long as it has something to do with quilting and sewing, we're happy. And then she got me these. I've always wanted these. I plan on keeping them on my quilt frame so I can knit threads easily. Because all you do to cut the thread is just to push them. But please be careful. I will keep them in this bag until I use them because I don't want to stab myself. So anyway, I thank my kids for those. And now, are you ready to see a watermelon come to life? Hi, Akko! Oh my gosh, you're so cool to be here. Our Akko. Talk about a mother of a lot of things. She's got the most fur babies I ever saw. She's cool. Okay, so let's move. Hi, sweetheart. Gosh, it's so good. We have missed our Akko. In fact, I'll be anxious to see our Nadine when she gets back. Akko and Nadine are two special people with very busy lives. And I know that this time of year, especially, you're so busy outside. Oh, did you get any snow, Akko? Did you get any snow? Because when in the world does spring start up there at the top of the world? Okay, let me show you what I've got. Just a few little things to tell you. This is a really cool quilt. And let me tell you why it's such a cool quilt. Because it is a quilt it as you go. So when you finish making this, it's done except for the binding. So I've just picked out, and I think this would be a good one for the outer skin of the watermelon because, watermelon, I try to picture what color would be good. And, well, hold on just a second, sweeties. Let me grab my fabrics here. And, all right, this is for my house and home blocks that I need to do. And so don't forget, if you didn't see your name on the list I typed earlier, please let me know because we definitely have one more. It'd be nice to get one more person, have an even 12, because then we could do the quilt like either 4 blocks by 3 or 3 by 4. So I picked out a wide variety of reds and this one, because to make a watermelon, I loved how in this picture she has all different shades of red. So that's what I want to do too. So I picked out, look at all these different shades. And you see what most of this fabric is. Most of it's my Jenny Beyer. So I've got this, and look at this one. Isn't that cool? Then I have these two that I'm going to choose between for the rind, the outer rind, and then between these two for the inner rind. And I'm thinking I like this for the inner rind best. So what I did, and I could go, ooh, look at this. This has a darker area. I could do this for the outer rind. Look at that. That might work. So what I did, I knew I wanted to use this for the inner rind. So, there's no way you're lazy. You just honey, you're like a couple of us here that we loved to do so many things. I always said, I wish I had 3 lifetimes. Okay, so now what I have here is I have my backing, I have my batting, okay? And what you do is you start in the middle and you sew your first piece. And I'll show you how to do that. But you're going to sew all your strips, then cut out the watermelon shape. Then with the 2 outer borders, you're going to sew what is going to be the inner rind and the outer rind. You're going to sew them as one and then stitch them around, flip them over as the binding. Isn't that cool? So it's really, really simple. So I knew I wanted this color, but I said I've got to have it on the bias because if it's not on the bias, it's not going to go around the circle well. So what I did is, you see how I cut this piece? Here was the cut edge. Here's the fold. Here is the selvage over here. And so I just cut a piece along this angle off my little mini bolt. Then I'll come back along and cut it the size I want and cut all these strips at an angle, then stitch them together in one long piece. Now I have a piece of bias. And remember we showed you or people have shown you, you have the straight grain, it doesn't move. You have the cross grain, it barely moves. Now watch what the bias does. You see that? So you need that bias so you can go around the curve of the watermelon. So here's the fold, here's the cut edge. This would be the selvage. Just cut it at an angle. Get as close to a 45-degree angle as you can. So I will cut this later. I will decide and cut my outer rind the same way. Just cut a hunk. You don't need that much. Just cut a hunk on that bias, on that angle cut. So let me show you that again, just so you know. All right, so you would have your fabric like this. When you go to cut a piece off, just cut it like this. And see that angle? Then all of this is going to be the bias. And you just cut your strips like this, sew them together end to end. You've got it. All right, so what I need to do now, I'm going to make this easy. I need strips. I'm not making it the exact size of that one. I'm making my strips 15 inches. But this one calls for, I think, 21 inches for the maximum. But I'm going to, let me cut off some selvage. And then I'm just going to, okay. All right. This piece was a cut piece, and look, it's way off. But anyway, I'll better use it. All right. But I'm just going to go along and take as many pieces as I want. And with this one, you just cut them about 1.5 inches by width of fabric. And that way you can have a couple, you can have maybe 3 from this one cut. Okay? So give me just a second to get some of these cut. My Jenny Byers tear evenly because that's how they came from her shop. They do all tearing so that you get a perfectly on the grain square cut, and you'll notice it's the same all the way down. Okay. So how is everybody? Let me see. Whoops. Hold on. Okay. So what? Okay. Oh, okay, you're so cute. I love ripping fabric. It's very emotionally healthy. It makes me very happy. All right. Okay. And what we're working on, if you hadn't seen in just the last few minutes, we're working on a watermelon. So I'm going to cut a few. I'm not going to cut all of these because you just don't want to sit here and just watch me cut. I'll pull off some of this. I have been saving my selvages for quite a while, and I'm going to make something special with them. Okay. All right. Maybe one more. Okay. All right, take time, honey. Oh, sorry about that. I don't want to make you shiver. Okay. Oh, goodness gracious. I'll cut it from this end. I remember the first time I was told, I remember the first time I was told to rip it, not cut it when you want a straight hem, because I worked at that historic museum and I used linen to make the skirts. And she said, it'll give you a straight hem. And she was right. But first time I heard it, I thought, what? Okay, now I'm going to cut the strip. I'm going to save this over. All right. I'm going to put this one in the center. So let me show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to take and safety pin the batting to the backing because I'm going to be taking it to the sewing machine. And I don't want to have to constantly worry about it falling apart. At the same time, I don't want to put straight pins in because I'll stick myself. I'm sure of it. All right. Then you just take your first strip and put it about somewhere on the middle of your little quilt. All right. Now let me turn you around so you can see what I'm going to do. I've got just gray thread in my bobbin and in on my spool. I absolutely love working on these little projects. They're fun. In fact, Mildred watched a show last week. I said, I think your name was mentioned on my show. So she watched it and saw that what I'm getting ready to give her as a little gift, because she's always giving me sweet things. All right, here we go. So now I'm going to lay this down just as it is. Okay? It's roughly in the middle, and I'm going to stitch. And I'm not sure if this is what the instructions said, but what I'm going to do is stitch down either side, because I don't want anything bunching up. And you have to make sure that your batting and backing are smooth, because once you sew this, you're done. So what I'm going to do now, turn this around and go back up the other side of this. Okay. And now I'm going to stitch it up this side. Now, I'm not going to have the stripes this wide. I like when they're more narrow, but I'm just making sure that this gets held down in place. And I'm always making sure that the batting and the backing are smooth. All right? So now, whoops, be careful with your presser foot. That's the only problem about doing this. Is you don't want the presser foot getting caught up in the batting. All right, now I'm going to go for a lighter piece. Let me see if this is long. I'm going to kind of vary these from time to time. All right. Let's see. And now you just lay it, okay? Lay it right sides together. Lay it right sides together. All right. And then I'm going to, like I said, I don't want these strips being too big. I like the narrow look. So I'm going to come in a good 5/8. And, if you want to make them perfectly straight, that's not a problem. You feel free to do that. Okay, now what I'm going to do is open this back and finger press it, okay? And if you don't like running your fingernail against it, get a spool of thread and just rub it against it so that you know it's nice and open. Okay. Now I'm going to take a different strip and I'm going to come and I'm just gonna pick them up willy-nilly. This is an easy, fun thing to do. And I'm going to come in about 1/2 inch on this one. And you can even make your strips narrower if you would rather. Okay. But I'm going to come in about 1/2 inch. Making sure I can feel if the batting and the backing are smooth underneath. Okay. Then, oops, I'll fold this over, finger press it. The only problem with tearing fabric is you get a whole lot of threads. Last time I went to Jenny Byers, I looked behind their cutting station because I used to love looking at all the multitude of colors of threads on the floor. But they had cleaned them all up. It was like, oh, darn, I was looking forward to seeing that. All right. So now, hi, Susan. Yay. Okay. So now I just put another strip on, sewing this down. So you see what I mean? It's very, very simple and straightforward. This is definitely playtime. I'm going to try this time when I pull it back to keep the presser foot on the fabric because I hate when it goes underneath the batting. And make sure, you know, like here, I'm starting to go down a little bit. Keep that strip up to the edge. Okay, I think I'll do a bright red this time. Put it right. I'm going towards one edge because I'd like to get to the edge. And here I got to move it back up. There we go. Put it about a 1/2 inch away. And like I said, you can make your strips narrower. You can sew them narrower. You can make them wider. Whatever makes you happy. But I saw this and thought, oh, what a cute little table mat, table runner. Make it as long as you want, whatever you want. It could be placemats. Just run your fingernail down. Okay, let's see. I had a piece, aha, this orangey red. Let's try this. Sometimes when you tear your fabric, just make sure it's not folded under. Okay, here we go. And keep all the pieces even on one edge. The bottom edge is the one that's going to curve. The one edge is, the top edge is going to be totally straight. There was a little hint I was going to give you last week too, which was when I was using the invisible thread to stitch down my undersea quilt. How it's hard to look at the needle bobbin area and know if it's still threaded, if it hasn't broken, the thread hasn't broken. And so I wanted to tell you what I would do is as I'm sewing, I would just glance up here and see if I saw any movement in the invisible thread. And as long as it's bouncing a little, then you know it's any movement at all, you know your needle is still threaded, it's still working. Okay. And see, I opened that up. And the more you sew on, the easier it gets because it gets firmer. And I mean, how easy is this? And let's say you don't have strips this long. Piece them together. It doesn't matter. This is just a fun little welcome summer activity. And you know, I guarantee you, if you have this on your kitchen counter or your dining room table, every time you see it, you're going to smile. It's just one of those cute, cute things. Okay, let me see. I need another strip. So, here we go. I'll move this over. Remember, keep pushing them up high on this edge. Okay, come in about half an inch. Take care, Quilting of the Soul. Thank you for stopping by, sweetie. Have a good, safe week ahead. Now, I've noticed that this one got narrower as it went down, so I'll just make sure to sew that one a little more narrow, and so it won't be noticeable. You just keep it in your mind, and that way it won't be too noticeable. All right, let me see. And thank you for any time you spent with us today. I know it's Mother's Day, and I want you to do something fun. Okay, here's another strip. We're almost down to this end. Uh-oh, I wasn't supposed to do that. You see why? Now I kind of got to push that batting back in place. Luckily, it's pretty forgiving. Good old polyester. All right, so finger press this out. Now, lay this one down. I tried to get a big variety of colors. You may decide to get them a little more similar, but okay. And I'm going to come in here at the top because I know this gets narrower as it goes down. So I think that's a pretty good amount. Making sure that I sew the same distance down, so all the way down, so that it won't be too noticeable that this strip gets narrower. So here I'm doing like 3/4 of an inch in. All right. Let me cut the end of this off. Let's see. Whoops, sorry, didn't mean that. Didn't mean to. I was trying to figure out what color strip I'm going to do next. I think 2 more strips and I'll be able to cut the shape. Whoops. Don't take it off that way, Deb. Please remember what I'm doing here and try to use your presser foot over the fabric because it's a real pain getting it caught in the batting. That's the only thing I hate about making quillos is because you've got that batting exposed. Anytime you have to sew and the batting shows on one side. Okay. Oops. I'm not keeping up with people talking. Okay. Oh. Hi, Sherry. Sherry Mercurio is here. Yay. Well, that's okay, Sherry. Some days we're just quieter than other days. That's all right. But it's nice to know you're here. That's the good part. This is fabric I got from Miss Bonnie. I see a Hobby Lobby label on it. I know it's from her then when I see that. All right. It's really pretty fabric too. Thank you, Miss Bonnie. So now let me cut a nice piece of this off. And see, by tearing it, I don't have to make sure it stays the same width all the way down unless it was not on the straighter grain first. But it just is easier for me to do it. Okay. Let me get that one over there. All right. So now let me come in here with this one. We're almost down to where the fun part is because then I get to cut it and you'll see, it is a watermelon. Okay. All right. I think one more might do it. All right. Now, yeah, it works a lot better when you slide it up the fabric. Okay. I think this will be my last one. And then we'll cut it. And I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do too. Okay, let me get something here. I am going to bring it over here and press it. Okay, whoops, don't pull my lens off. I'll bring it right here to press it. Let me tell you why. Because I want to do a final stitching right along this edge. And I want to make sure, instead of just finger pressing, I want to make sure this is nice and smooth down so that when I sew, I'll get a nice crisp edge. Okay. So see, you just press that. Then my floor looks like a Christmas tree. Okay. So now I'll bring this back over here. Whoops, dub. Okay. All right, so here we go. This will be my, and see how I still kept coming down. So when you make it, please try not to step down, because I would think, sure, I could line them up just by sight, but I needed a little more care. All right, see what I'm doing now? I am sewing this down, and then I'm going to come back up to the top, and I'm going to do a stay stitching along the top. That way, when you trim it up, you don't have anything letting loose or losing batting. Okay, now the fun part. All right, the fun part, here we go. This is the middle. Okay, here we go. All right. Now I'm just going to do this by hand because let's honestly, it's just a watermelon. So I'm going to, whoops, let me move back a little so you can see it better. All right, I'm taking my chalk, and I did want a ruler for the top. Let me get a ruler for the top. All right, so this top, and remember, the top has to be whatever the shortest, the top has to be whatever that shortest column is. So be careful when you're coming along. So, okay. So now I've got the line across here, and I'm gonna, all right, so I just did a watermelon shape, and then when I come to do this side, all I have to do is fold it in half, and I will be able to do, and you see where I'm cutting in, leaving this fabric where it's sewn so that I don't mess up that next starting point. So I just come along here. See how bold I'm being? I'm just cutting it. I don't care. And I leave this little bit of seam allowance here. And then I come here and I cut right across here. Now stop right before here and cut this off. So here is a half of a watermelon slice. Isn't that cool? And that is good. Now, let me get back. So, and I'll just do the same thing for this side, and you'll see on the back, it's already quilted. And see how I made sure, I was very careful to make sure that I kept it smooth while I was working. In fact, these pins are still here. But I'll just lay, when I start here to go this way, I will just lay my fabric right sides together on top of this one. I will stitch about a ½ inch in here, then fold this back. Finger press it. Do the same thing all the way down this way. Then when this whole side is done, I'll flip this over to this side and then follow this when I cut and follow this when I cut. Now, I will take one of my strips and I will do it like any other binding, and I'll stitch it here with a nice 1/4 inch binding. Then I'll flip it over. You know, you would sew it a 1/4 inch seam allowance, then flip it over like this to the back, tuck it under, and do a regular binding. That's how you finish off the top. The bottom's going to be a little trickier, but not hard. I promise you, it's not going to be hard. I already showed you where I cut the light inside part of the rind on an angle. Now, let me look at this. Okay. See if I can find enough dark fabric to use for the outer. Oh, yeah, I think this will be fine. So let me tell you what. Let me show you. Whoops, sorry. Sorry, guys. Let me show you how I cut this. Okay, so I've got the two sides right here. And I'm going to cut this selvage, get it out of the way. I like leaving my selvages on because then if I need more of the fabric, I already know exactly what fabric it is because I left the selvage on. All right, so here we are. We have the selvage, we have the fold, we have the cut end. All I have to do is come here and eyeball this. I eyeball this fabric and I say, okay, I'll start here. You can't tear it because tearing will make it go to the straight of grain. But I just come along. Let me use bigger scissors. It'll be more accurate if I have longer blades. So I just come along here and cut it at the angle. Here you go. All right, so see where I've got two triangle pieces. This one and this one. Okay. And all I'm going to do, I'm going to use my mat, my cutting mat in a rotary cutter, and I'm just going to take my long ruler and cut. This one, I'm going to cut a maybe 1.5 inch wide because that you just want that to be very narrow. But the dark green one, I'm going to cut that wider. So I'll probably cut these into 1.5 inch strips. This one into 2.5 to 3. Probably 2.5 is good. 2.5 is good. I'll cut it into a bunch. You go in with that triangle line. Okay. So here, I'll cut the strips going this way. Then I'll sew the strips together end to end. Then I'll sew these two together. When I have the long strips, I'll sew these two together. That way I can put them on as one piece. Okay? All right. So once this is sewn on the bias, which is why you do all of that, because the bias stretches and bends, and it'll go right around the curved edge. And it will be put on as binding. And then I'll have the top bound this way. And then I will take my polymer clay watermelon seeds that I was here making when I first said hi to you today. I will bake these after I put 2 small holes in it. And you know, what can you use to put the holes in? Something tiny, just bigger than the needle that you're going to use to sew them on. But I will bake these on a piece of cotton batting, and then I will sew them on this placemat. After that, I'll just stretch them out, sew them on, and there you've got a toothpick would be very good. Thank you. Thank you. Just make sure you get the hole through, and then when it bakes, the holes will stay there. So that is how you make a very fun summertime project. And you know, the more we put things like that around us, the more fun it is. And it also is a very good beginner project because it's so simple and it's almost instant gratification. So I hope that there's a watermelon slice in your life. Now, some people might not waste this. I wonder if I could take this into make a little quarter slice out of it. How cute. Cute. So, what do you think? I hope you'll like it. Now you want watermelon. That is so cute. All right, and let me see where I found this. I will put this pattern, because some of you like nice patterns. It was designed by Shelley Robson or Robeson. Her finished is 11 by 28. I don't think mine, I just, you know me, I'm relaxed. I just figured it's whatever I felt like. Mine was going to be 23 long. And so hers, what was her size again? 28. Yeah, so hers is a little bit longer than mine. I will put this pattern, it was a free pattern, and I wish it doesn't put the website on here, but I will scan this in and put it on our website. It came off of one of those emails that give you all these patterns for summertime things. And I forget now. I really should have written it down on here. I assumed it would print it at the bottom of the page. But thank you, Shelley Robeson, for a great, fun pattern. And don't forget, just remember, start with your first piece in the center. Then take your second piece and put right sides together. So this, the finished size, 11 inches by 28. Mine is 12 by 24. I have a refrigerator melon. That a round one, not a big long one. You know, Deb, I just do it my own way. I'll wing this stuff. Oh, look at you. Susan, you are amazing. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. What would I do without her? Honestly, I think I'd close up shop, go home. So, all right. Well, I hope that was a fun thing. I try to find cute, fun little things to kind of, even if you don't end up making it, if it gets you excited about getting back to your sewing, then I'm happy. And I love happy stuff. I just love, I don't know, I'm very much in touch with my inner child. And so I love it. And you notice I've got my Bonnie pin and my heart that I made over a year ago. So I'll have to do another, some kind of, this was a little, it's a little big, but I'll have to do some kind of other little thing. So please don't forget to hit like if you enjoyed this. Please subscribe if you are not already subscribed. Susan always does such a beautiful job of typing this in when we're together. But I realize if people aren't reading the little chat, they miss it. So I want to be around for a good long while because I love you dearly and I love what I do. I get so excited when I know every Sunday's coming up. Pardon me. I think I got a little pollen in me. The wind has been big, very busy. And if you want to get into our Heart at Home block exchange, let me know right away. I think we're about done. Any other question? Any other questions? And Nikki, it was a delight to have you here. It's awfully nice when our kids can be here with us. And so thank you. Oh, good. I was hoping you liked it. And if you have any, don't go out and buy expensive buttons. And in fact, you maybe could talk me into making some for you and sending them to you. Because when I remember one time when I made a watermelon quilt, which I'll put up in June too, the buttons are expensive. And you know what? If you don't have a little clay, I could make you some. But a little black polymer clay, put them in a toaster oven, 275 for about, better read the package, maybe 20 minutes or so. And then they're hard as a rock and you stitch them on and you got it made. Have a wonderful day. Yes, please. Let's hope it's going to warm up. Akko, did you end up getting snow? I didn't see. And but it will be warming up, I do promise. And but have a great week. Please wear your protective clothing. I know face masks are a pain. I know gloves are a pain. I know you miss going and doing, but we're not out of the woods yet. 2,000 people passed yesterday. I'm sorry. We're not out of the woods. So stay close and safe because I want you around. I will miss you if you're gone. I will get very upset if you're not careful. I would too. I'd get very upset. So y'all are the best. Have a great day. Take good care of yourself. Women, we make the world run. We give life. We're the givers of life, and we're the people who nurture the life. So we're pretty good people, aren't we? Take good. Oh, look at poor Akko. Got a few inches. Oh, my goodness. Thank goodness your little guinea pigs are inside where it's nice and warm. And your cutest dog. Oh, my gosh, that Diva. I mean, she just loves Mama. So that's wonderful. Take good care, all of you. And I hope to see some of you Thursday evening. And we'll work on our Out of This World quilt. Bye, everybody. Happy Mother's Day, you beautiful people. Mwah. Bye-bye, guys. You're the best. Bye.